a book review on Fallen City. Now, this is being marketed as a romantasy, but I would call it literary fiction with a fantasy feel and a little bit of forbidden love in it. It is dual POV. Now, I read this as an ARC. It did just come out on the 4th of November, so thank you to NetGalley and Saturday Books for this one. We're going to be following two main characters in this one. So we have Maris, who is a wealthy daughter of a magistrate, and Lucas, who was poor but was adopted by his uncle to be his uncle's heir, also a magistrate. When these two meet, they have an instant connection, and they also agree that the government needs to be run differently when they are in charge. So they are kind of waiting for that day to come, but in a string of political events, these two find themselves at the opposite sides of a rebellion. Can these two and their love survive a holy war, especially when it seems like the gods have more in store for them? I gave this 3 stars. That synopsis sounds great, right? Like, who doesn't love forbidden love, right? And then these two are ripped apart by a war. That sounds like it should be emotionally devastating. And yet it's simply not. I think that's 100% due to this story is not told in chronological order. I believe we start with these two in the present, where the war is already going on, the rebellion is already going on, they're on opposite sides, and then we keep flashing back to them as everything builds. And that's why I think this feels way more like literary fiction to me, plus just Adrienne Young's normal writing style. I think chronological storytelling, plus maybe even dividing this into 2 separate books and then developing both of those sides a bit more, would have made this so much more gripping. I know romantasy is obviously very trendy, very popular, right? But I also feel like when it gets misused, you're sending people the wrong expectations. They might not like your book because of that. So, like, maybe don't market something as a romantasy that to me simply isn't. At most, I think you can call this like dystopian, and people love dystopian books. Go that way. To me, this is not really fantasy driven at all. Like, it is a fictional world, yes, and there are gods, like a god system, and there appears to be a little bit of magic around that, but I think it's like a sprinkle of fantasy at best. But we do have 2 solid main characters. We do have a corrupt government that needs to be, overtaken. So, like, I feel like taking this in a dystopian route would have been the way to go, or just calling it literary fiction, and I might have enjoyed it more. But calling this romantasy and then having both the romance, because this is instant love, and I also feel like a lot of them falling in love is told and not shown. So calling this romance doesn't really work for me. Calling this fantasy doesn't really work for me. Also, Goodreads has this listed as a retelling, and I can't decide what it's retelling, and I can't find that anywhere. Is it Romeo and Juliet? Because then I have some concerns. Moral of the story: good characters, good premise, poor execution, in my opinion. This one wasn't for me.